Imagine your neighbor knocking on your door in the middle of the night to tell you they had just boiled their husband alive. Well, that's what happened in this story. So Corinna Smith, who is 59 years old, lived in Neston, a quiet town in Cheshire, England. She had been married to 81-year-old Michael Baines for 38 years. Together, they raised two children, a daughter from Corinna's previous marriage and a son they had together, who was named Craig. From the outside, they looked like an average working-class family. But behind closed doors, something darker was brewing. Michael had a history of controlling behavior. According to reports from neighbors and friends, he could be cold and verbally abusive, but no one suspected anything worse, and this was something the family collectively brushed off. In 2007, when Craig was just 25, he sadly self-exited. In the days leading up to his death, Craig had confessed to his mother that he had been SA'd by someone as a child, but he wouldn't say by whom. Corinna was heartbroken and confused, but the full truth wouldn't come out until several years later. Craig's death haunted her, and she always felt there was more to the story, but had no answers and never knew where to turn. She described Craig as a sensitive, kind-hearted, and vulnerable person. His suicide had shattered the family and left her on the hunt for answers. It wasn't until July 2020, 13 years after Craig's death, that Corinna's daughter dropped a bombshell. She told Corinna that both she and Craig had been repeatedly SA'd for years by none other than their own father, Michael Baines. Corinna's daughter said she had kept the abuse a secret for years out of fear and shame. She also said Craig had confided in her before his death, and that his suicide was directly tied to the trauma. Corinna was devastated. In her eyes, the man she had spent nearly her entire adult life with, her partner, had not only betrayed her and her daughter, but had driven their son to his own demise. Less than 24 hours after learning the truth, Corinna acted. She filled a bucket with boiling water and added 3 full bags of sugar. Why sugar? Because it thickens the water, making it stick to the skin and burn deeper. She walked into their bedroom in the middle of the night, where Michael was lying asleep, and poured the boiling sugar water over his head, chest, and arms. He screamed in agony. She didn't call 999 immediately. She took her time, cleaned the liquid off the floors, tidied the kitchen, and walked 9 doors down to a neighbor's house to confess what she'd done. Michael Baines suffered third-degree burns to over a third of his body. He succumbed to his injuries after 5 gruesome weeks in the hospital. Corinna was arrested and charged with his murder. In court, Corinna claimed she had finally broken under the weight of years of pain, grief, and betrayal. Craig's story was shared as a part of this trial and taken into consideration by the judge. Her daughter also testified on her behalf, but the jury still found her guilty. In July of 2021, she was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 12 years. Some call her a murderer. Others say she's a grieving mother who did what the system wouldn't: stop a predator. What do you think?